Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and today I'm very excited to be giving my take on the Premier Momenti yarn. And the iCard over here, you will see the video where I unboxed the box of Premier yarn that included this, and I told you guys I had quite a few of you guys ask what I thought of this yarn, and particularly focusing on did I think it would be good for garments, because it seemed to be a little, one of you guys put it seems to be a little delicate to make a garment out of. So these are 200-gram cakes of yarn. They are 437 yards, 400 meters, 7 ounces. They are 58% cotton, 42% acrylic. They are a US or a yarn standard size 4. Recommended needle size is a US size 8. Hook is a US I/9. Hand wash cold, lie flat to dry. I got the colorway Reef, and I got 2 cakes of Reef. And might I just say, I told you when I unboxed these, what I was probably going to do was work one from the inside or outside in, and then the other one from the inside out. And boy, howdy, did that work out in my favor. So I did forget to write down the name of this pattern and the designer. I will leave that in the description box down below, as well as putting information here on the screen for you guys. But I love how this turned out. This will be absolutely fantastic just to top an outfit when it's a little chilly in the evenings, but warm during the day. You don't want to wear a coat. You just want something to pop on. Until we hit like I live in the southeast of the U.S. Welcome to the South. Down here it's quite balmy. It's very sticky. Our summer months, the heat index, it could be like 98 degrees, and our heat index can be 115. We are known to have 199% humidity through the months of July and August. A lot of times, intermittently, consistently, we have certain towns where storms break apart and come back together because the humidity bubble is so thick. The storm cannot pass through it. It just splits. So, I'm going to say like this would be good to wear down here through the month of June. It is an acrylic cotton blend, so it is going to breathe. Now, in the evenings, if you have some elevation, if you're somewhere where it's breezy, like if you go up to the mountains or something, this would be fantastic. I wish I had something like this. We went to Montreal and Vermont in August a few years ago, and then a couple years after that, we were in Portland, Oregon in August. And the evenings there were chilly, but the days were quite warm. So this would be perfect if you're north of the Mason-Dixon and have temperature variation over the course of the day. Down here, some of our nights are still, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm not quite as bad here as I know some of you guys down in Louisiana can get, or down on the Gulf in general. But it does, Charlotte's not quite as bad as Columbia was, but it still gets pretty, and yeah. So as far as like, do I think this makes a great garment? Yeah, I think you're safe making a sweater out of this. Do follow the care instructions, though. I would not machine wash this. Definitely not machine dry it. I did not block this because I'm going to have to play with the blocking, as this is a blend. I think I'm going to block to the acrylic, though, which would mean I'm going to steam block it. And I think because we have a good width fit on this for my shape, I don't think I need to block for length. I just need to block to make sure that the lace work stays open and it moves flat. We do have a picot border on the edge here, and that did ruffle just a little bit. So I will probably softly pin the bottom out so you can see the open, it looks like tulips to me, or trumpet flowers with the V shape and the almost like ice cream cones. And then we've got the picot here. So I do want to block that to where that lays out instead of warping in on itself. But I think a very soft steam blocking for this will be all it needs. If you're doing something that has more structure to it, you might want to do a wet block and a steam block just to lock in the shape. But remember, when you steam the acrylic, it will soften significantly. So if it's heavily structured without seaming, you might want to stick to just wet blocking because you don't want to lose your structure in your garment. This has, to me, just enough structure in the yarn, just enough tooth to the yarn to where it would hold up, though, to a structured pattern, knit or crochet, as long as you're mindful of the kind of blocking you do. For a poncho, I want drape. I want it to stay open. So I will probably opt to do more of a steam with this. And I'll use the steamer instead of my iron just so I get a softer mist of steam. And I'm not going to hard block this where I pull out the blocking wires and really stretch it. I'm just looking to get a nice smoothing effect and maintaining the openness of my lace pattern here. So as far as that goes, I would just be very conscientious of what type of fabric you want this to be. Now, the yarn itself is not tight. It's a chainette style yarn. You see kind of there where the dark purple is, you can kind of see where there's a chaining in there. It is, kind of frame my end here so you can really get a good look at what the fiber individually kind of looks like here. So it is very tight, it's very fine, but it's very floofy. It kind of reminds me of like a caterpillar where you can see the solid center, but all the fur kind of makes it look soft and squishy. It doesn't have a whole lot of lengthwise stretch to it. I mean, once you're to tension, it doesn't really pull that much. It has a decent tensile strength. It's not going to just like snap on you all of a sudden. No. Now, it does have cotton in it, so cotton not treated well does dry out. I mean, it's a natural fiber. It will dry out. Same thing, actually, oddly enough, with acrylic. A lot of times, if acrylic is stored poorly, it will start to degrade. If it's stored like in your attic where it's hot and muggy and not being treated very well, you will have that degrade fairly quickly. But as far as like garment making, where you're going to actually maintain the piece, use the piece, I would say you're fine with this. This is, it was very nice to work with. I have said it before, I'm not a huge fan of cotton. I find it very dry on my hands. And down here, it really is just too hot to wear a lot of particularly crocheted, because of the nature of the crochet stitch being so thick. Garments. It is very hard to wear a lot of cotton garments down here because it's just heavy. It's very heavy, very hot. I do not have the feeling that this, after you block this, that you're going to get massive amounts of stretch from the cotton. There does appear to be just enough acrylic in here to prevent the cotton from stretching. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about, you know, the ever-growing garment with this, barring your stitch pattern. Now, stitch patterns can also dictate how much stretch you're going to get in a finished project. So you might have some stretch because of the project stitches itself, but I don't think the yarn is going to add too much extra growth and stretch. It does feel like there's enough density to it to where it's not going to just, you know, you're over time going to gain an extra foot on a sweater at the bottom. Very soft, very pliable. Did not dry my hands out too much. I did have a little bit of drying, just because it is cotton. I like how this worked with a slightly larger hook. So I believe I used a J for this, the largest Clover Amour hook that has a metal head. So I think that's the J. So this did call for a J hook. So we do have a slightly looser feel to those stitches. But the combination of the singles, half doubles, trebles, I think that actually, for what I needed to really get a good gauge, I think it worked really, really nicely. So if you're looking to design something with this and you're wanting something a little bit lighter and airier, I would say a J or K hook would be perfectly fine with this yarn. It isn't going to full that much because of the nature of the type of ply and the cotton in here. It does have just enough tooth to it. But yeah, I kind of did this. I kind of want to make a tank top out of it now. Just like a loose shell lace top that you'd put over like a regular cami top. Just to play with some open stitches, but I don't quite have that much left. I do have, I think this ended up being 300 and something grams. So I used over 1.5 cakes. I think this is like another 30 grams. So yeah, I would say for the purpose of garments, you're great. For shawls, brilliant. This would make beautiful shawls. Obviously, I thought it would make a good poncho, and I still feel the same way about it. I do really enjoy this colorway, and particularly, I like the way the colors moved. I've always said, you know, gray is my favorite neutral to work with, so I do like the fact we have this nice bright color blended with the gray. I like it, guys. It's out of 5, and particularly for a big box yarn, yeah, I would totally give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars for my pleasure. I had one knot, and it was in color at the join. So I didn't lose, you know, like an entire color change. Which I really, really do appreciate when that happens. Like, I know yarns break and you got to rejoin yarns, but at least keep it in the color. Like, keep the color going. I really did appreciate the fact that they did keep the color going. It was in color pattern when it was rejoined, so we didn't have like some weird thing happening there. But in 2 cakes, 400 grams, to only have one knot, you know, I'm finding more and more that's not the norm, that is a little unusual. So I'm very pleased. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I've seen some amazing patterns out there that this would be beautiful with. I know Jennifer over at Cinnamon Stitches has a couple of things that she's made with it, but I think she's made some things that this yarn would be perfect for. So you might want to go check out some of her patterns that she's been doing and tutorials that she's been putting out. I think during her premiere week, Momenti was one of the yarns that she talked about. So go check out her opinion on it, because as I always tell you guys, I think it's very important that you get more than one person's opinion on a yarn, because one person's experience with something may not be the norm. I've had a bad run of yarn before that just happened to be what I bought. That just happened to be what I was reviewing. And I just happened to have a really bad week that week. So while a lot of people did have a problem with the colorway and the lot I had problems with, other people love that yarn. So definitely go check out other reviews on this. Go see what other people have to say. But like I said, especially, it's a big box yarn. It's affordable. I'll leave the deets, you know, over here, so you can look at the price, the number of colors that they have. I will have a link in the description box down below. It is an affiliate link, just like the links in the unboxing video and the iCard. It doesn't cost you anything if you purchase through my links, but I do get a little something back on that end. And I would love it if you guys use that should you purchase, but by no means is it a demand of you guys. Once again, that is the label for it. And I don't know what else to say. If you guys have any further questions about it, it worked up beautifully. It worked up softly. I really cannot wait to start wearing this. I will share in a show and tell video when I come back and get all the ends woven in and get it steamed. I will share with you guys that. But like I said, I think it just needs a soft steaming just to make sure that the bottom stays open, because the weight is holding up the, with that larger hook, it's holding out the lace on its own pretty well. I just need to touch that bottom to keep it smooth, and just to make sure that it's nice and flat. I'm not going to do a hard steaming on this to block it, but it worked up beautifully. It's going to wear very nicely. I don't believe this will have a whole lot of pilling, but you might get some of that. It does have soft outer fibers. So if you don't take care of this, following the directions, hand washing and drying flat, you might start to see where the outer fibers start to matte across the yarn, and you might get like a white haze, because it does appear to be a white loose cotton fiber over here. But I was surprised. I mean, I was prepared to love the color, but not the cotton content. And I gotta say, especially for a cotton, an affordable cotton at that, from an affordable brand, once again, Premier just keeps raising that bar of expectation of what we should expect from quality. I don't want to say budget yarns, because they're not budget yarns. These are quality, accessible yarns, and very easily accessible through their website. Hirschner's, Mary Maxim. I know many of us have found it in stores in the past, different stores, so in person, but I would definitely say give it a shot, give it a whirl. That bar just keeps getting raised with quality product, and I'm here for it. I am 100% here for the joy. So it will probably be a little while before we have our next touch in of things I wanted to discuss here on the channel from that purchase, and that will be the Wool Select yarn. I did want to do a comparison of that yarn with another product. So it will probably be a little while. I am in the middle of doing some fairly extensive working through my stash. I'm not calling it a stash down, because I'm not getting rid of stuff, but I am working through stuff, making donation blankets. So it will probably be late summer, early fall before that review comes out, but I am planning on still talking about the comparison of the Wool Select yarn and kind of giving a soft review of that as well. So until then, you guys, I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the fruits yarn, Sweet Roll Fruits. I'll put that in the iCard as well, so you can click on that directly from this video. But yeah, last summer and this summer have been really good releases from Premier. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing, and they just continue to make a quality product, and it's hard to beat a fair product. So anyway, you guys, I hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic Saturday. I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Take care, you guys.